When your child hits you, you take a deep breath, get down on their level, and use your gentle voice. You validate their feelings, you stay calm, and the hitting gets worse. What you might not realize is that the very gentleness you're offering, the validation, the soft tone, the patient explaining, can actually fuel more aggression. Not because you're doing it wrong, but because no one told you about the hidden side of gentle parenting that creates the opposite of what you want. I get it. You've read the books, you respond calmly when your child screams. You validate their feelings when they're upset, but the hitting continues. The yelling escalates, and you start to wonder, is gentle parenting actually working? Here's what no one tells you. Gentleness without structure feels unsafe to a child's nervous system. A child's brain is constantly scanning their environment, asking, who's in charge here? Who's keeping me safe? What are the rules? When they don't get clear answers, their survival brain activates. Without clear limits, the body interprets the world as unpredictable, and unpredictability to a young nervous system equals danger. So the very gentleness you're offering, when it lacks containment, when it avoids firmness, can actually trigger more dysregulation, more testing, more aggression. This pattern shows up consistently in parenting research and developmental psychology. Parents trying so hard to be kind, to honor their child's feelings, and accidentally creating the opposite of what they want. But here's what I want you to know. This doesn't mean gentle parenting doesn't work. It means you need a few key adjustments. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 5 gentle parenting mistakes that quietly create aggression and what to do instead. Mistake number 1, over-validating without containing the behavior. Here's what this looks like. Your child hits you. You take a breath and say, "You're angry." It's okay to feel that way. I hear you. And then they hit you again. So you say it again. "I know you're frustrated. Your feelings are valid." They keep hitting. Now here's what to do instead. You validate the emotion and immediately contain the behavior in the same breath. It sounds like this. "I won't let you hit. I can see you're angry. I'm here to help your body calm down." Or, "Hitting hurts. I'm going to block your hands." You might gently guide their hands down low so they can't swing, then say, "You're safe and I'm going to keep everyone safe." You're still being gentle. You're still honoring the feeling, but you're adding the boundary that their nervous system desperately needs. Now, here's why this works. When your child is hitting, they're in fight or flight mode. The thinking part of their brain goes offline. They're operating purely from the survival center, the amygdala. And in that moment, when you validate their emotion but don't stop the action, their brain receives a confusing message. Their brain is scanning you for a safety signal. You're acknowledging the feeling, which is good. But because you aren't physically stopping the hand, their brain receives a mixed message. To a dysregulated child, this reads as, "No one is in charge here, so I have to keep fighting to keep myself safe." Think about it this way. Imagine you're overwhelmed at work and you start venting to a friend. Maybe your voice is getting louder, maybe you're spiraling. And your friend just keeps saying, "I get it, I hear you," but doesn't help you interrupt the pattern. At some point, that lack of intervention actually makes the spiral worse. You need someone to gently help you stop. Your child needs the same thing. Here's a simple test you can try. The next time your child becomes aggressive, use 1 sentence to validate their emotion and 1 sentence to hold the boundary. Then watch what happens. Notice how the aggression de-escalates faster than when you only validate. This is completely normal if you've been doing it the other way. You're not alone in this, but here's where things get complicated. Because even when you're holding boundaries, there's another pattern that can actually escalate the aggression you're trying to stop. Which brings us to mistake number 2. Talking too much during meltdowns. You try to talk them through it. You want to teach them emotional regulation skills in the moment. So you kneel down, you use your calm voice, and you start explaining. Remember how we talked about using our words? When you feel angry, you can say, "I'm angry." Can you try that with me? Let's take some deep breaths together. In through your nose, out through your mouth. "Do you want to tell me what happened?" And the meltdown gets worse. Here's what you need to know. Your child cannot access language during peak emotional arousal. When their survival brain takes over, the part responsible for language, reasoning, and logic goes offline. It's not that they're choosing not to listen, they literally cannot process complex verbal information in that state. And here's what's actually happening. Every word becomes noise, auditory overstimulation, which escalates aggression. So what do you do instead? You reduce your words to 5 to 7 at most and leave long pauses between them. Simple scripts like, "I'm right here," "You're safe," I've got you, breathing together. And then you offer your calm physical presence. You sit nearby, you stay regulated, you breathe slowly. You might place a gentle hand on their back if they allow it. Here's what this looked like in a real scenario. A mother in the grocery store cereal aisle, crouched next to her 4-year-old daughter lying on the floor. She's whispering, "I hear you, sweetie. You wanted the blue box, I know. Can you take a deep breath with me? Let's use our words." She was saying all the right things, and her daughter was screaming louder with every sentence. An older woman walked past and gave her that look. You know the one. And in that moment, something clicked. Her daughter didn't need words, she needed calm, so she stopped talking. She sat down on that grocery store floor, placed her hand on her daughter's back, and just breathed. Slowly, visibly. Within 2 minutes, her daughter crawled into her lap. Your child doesn't need a teacher during a meltdown. They need a calm, regulated anchor. But here's where things get tricky. Because when you're trying so hard to stay calm and avoid harsh parenting, it's easy to accidentally swing too far in the other direction. Which brings us to mistake number 3, confusing gentle with permissive. You don't want to be authoritarian, yelling and punishing like the past, but you've swung the pendulum too far into permissive parenting. You're avoiding firm limits because they feel mean. But true gentle parenting is actually authoritative. Think of it like being the confident captain of a ship, not a dictator. It combines high warmth with very high standards. Your child refuses to leave the park. You try to stay gentle, so you negotiate. 5 more minutes, okay? 5 minutes pass. They still refuse. Okay, how about 2 more minutes? 2 minutes pass, now you're pleading. Please, we really have to go. Mommy's going to be late. And then they melt down. Now here's what you need to understand. Permissiveness actually makes kids more aggressive because it leaves them unanchored. Children rely on boundaries for security. Boundaries tell them where they end and where the world begins. Without boundaries, they're floating in psychological space with no container. And that feels terrifying. No boundaries equals panic, and panic often shows up as aggression. When children don't have predictable limits, their nervous system stays in a state of hypervigilance. They keep testing, pushing, escalating, not because they're trying to manipulate you, but because they're asking, will anyone stop me? Is anyone in charge here? And every time you give in, every time you negotiate past the point of reason, their brain registers, still no limit, still not safe. So here's the solution. Gentle firmness, connection plus follow-through. It sounds like this. You kneel down, you make eye contact, and you say with warmth, I know it's hard to leave. You're having so much fun, and we're leaving now. I'm right here with you. And then you follow through, even if they cry, even if they protest. Because here's what I need you to understand. It's okay if they get upset. Tears aren't trauma. Disappointment is a normal part of life. Your job isn't to prevent all discomfort, it's to be present with them through it. You can be kind and firm at the same time. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. In fact, firmness is a form of kindness when it provides the structure a child needs to feel safe. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I understand. I need to hold boundaries. I need to stay calm. I can do that. But here's the part that changes everything. Because there's a hidden pattern that undermines all of this. One that most parents don't even realize they're doing. Which brings us to mistake number 4. Letting your own dysregulation hide under gentle behavior. You sound calm. You're using the right words. You're speaking in a soft voice. But inside, you're bracing. Your jaw is clenched. Your shoulders are tight. Your heart is racing. You're performing calmness while your body is screaming. And your child feels this. Children respond to your nervous system, not your words. Your child's brain is constantly scanning your facial expressions, your body language, your tone, your breathing. They're picking up on the microscopic cues that signal whether you're actually calm or just pretending to be. When there's a mismatch between your words and your body, it creates confusion in their nervous system. It's like receiving 2 contradictory signals at once. And that confusion escalates their dysregulation. Think about the last time someone smiled at you while they were clearly furious. You could feel the tension, right? The dissonance was unsettling. That's what your child experiences when you're faking calm. So here's what to do instead. Regulate yourself first. Before you respond to your child, try this. Take 3 slow breaths, but make the exhale twice as long as the inhale. This activates your vagus nerve and signals your body to move out of fight or flight. Then do a body scan. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice if you're clenching your jaw. Drop your shoulders away from your ears, and here's a simple test. Can you soften your face? If your forehead is tense or your eyes are hard, your child can see it. You might even practice this in the mirror. find what your genuinely calm face actually looks like, so you can recognize when you're slipping into performance mode. Psychologists call this co-regulation, lending your calm nervous system to your child until they can build their own. So if you need to say, "I need a minute to calm my body down and then I'll help you," that's not just okay. That's the most powerful teaching tool you have. Your genuine, grounded presence is more powerful than any perfectly scripted, gentle parenting phrase delivered from a dysregulated body. Now, this brings us to the final mistake. And this one is particularly challenging because it goes against everything you've been trying to do as a gentle parent. Mistake number 5, avoiding consequences because they feel too harsh. You don't want to shame your child. You don't want to punish. So when they throw a toy, you take a deep breath and explain why that's not safe. When they throw it again, you explain again. When they throw it a third time, you keep explaining. But here's the thing. Children need consistent cause and effect to feel secure. Logical consequences aren't punishment. They aren't designed to make them suffer. They're just information. They show the child that specific actions have related outcomes. And when you avoid implementing consequences because you're afraid of being too harsh, you're actually depriving your child of crucial developmental information. The brain is wired to learn through prediction and pattern. When a child does X and Y always happens, they develop a sense of security in knowing how the world works. When the consequence is logical and related, like losing the toy because it was thrown, predictability lowers aggression because it reduces the need for testing. But when they do X and sometimes Y happens, sometimes nothing happens, sometimes you negotiate, that unpredictability keeps their nervous system activated. So let me show you exactly what this looks like. Your child throws their toy at the wall. You take a breath, kneel down, and say calmly, "When you throw the toy, I put it away because it's not safe. You can try again later." You pick up the toy and place it on a high shelf. They immediately start crying, "No, I want it! Give it back!" And here's where you feel that pull, that instinct to negotiate, to rescue them from their upset. Don't. Instead, you stay near. You keep your voice warm. "I know you're disappointed. It's hard when something gets put away. I'm right here with you." You're not rescuing them from the consequence. You're not abandoning them in their feelings. You're doing something much more powerful. You're showing them that you mean what you say and that they can handle disappointment with your support. Now, you're probably thinking, but what if they cry? What if they have a complete meltdown? Let them. Your job is not to prevent the emotion. Your job is to hold the boundary and be present while they feel their feelings about it. Crying is communication, not danger. They're allowed to be upset about the consequence. That's actually how they learn emotional resilience, by experiencing disappointment in the safety of your loving presence. This doesn't make you harsh. This makes you trustworthy, because you're showing them that the world is predictable and that you mean what you say. So let's bring this all together. Over-validating without boundaries feels like permission. Too many words create overwhelm. Gentle doesn't mean permissive. It means kind and firm. Your child reads your nervous system, not your script, and consistent consequences are information, not punishment. Every single one of these mistakes comes from love. You're trying to break the cycle. That's not failure. That's growth. Now you know what needs to shift. But when your child is in full meltdown, screaming, hitting, completely dysregulated, and you need to respond right now, there's a precise sequence that works. Watch the next video. I'll show you the exact 4-step method that stops meltdowns in 60 seconds.